Welcome back to Entrepreneurial Shades of Grey. I'm Dani Dowse with my co-host, Miss Chelsey Sayasan, and I'm super excited today, Chelsey, because our guest is in the culinary space, and I'm slightly fascinated with the culinary world. One of my favorite things to do when I'm using a recipe out of a cookbook is say, "Oh, one of my chef friends taught me that." So today, I can really say I talked to a chef friend.
Not just a chef friend, but like one of the biggest when it comes to managing people in restaurants here
Yes.
on the Gulf Coast. If you watch Studio 10, you know his face. We got Chef Manny Rodriguez with us. Manny, it's good to see you.
Thank you, ladies, for having me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We're
Yeah.
so excited to have you. Your story is just wild, and how this all came about, I love it. He would come on the show periodically
Right.
with some of the restaurants and cook on the show, and then he became a Friday staple with Don Q and John as well, and it's just been so fun. Our staff, we love it. The audience loves it at home too. Something we always talk about, Chef Manny, me and Joe. It's so hard to find people who come on TV who are comfortable with
Yeah.
television, who are an expert in their craft, and just make really amazing food. I've never had anything bad. And Joe, too,
Yeah.
he would say the same thing. So this man is the whole Studio 10 package that we've been looking for.
Yeah, and I was just telling you, I feel like I know you because I see you on Studio 10. You do so well on camera, like
Appreciate
Chelsea
that.
said. And you've got such an amazing backstory.
I came to the States, to Pensacola, when I was 17.
Gotcha.
Fled, basically left Venezuela because the situation was going on that we're not going to get into political situations, but came here, spent a year in WF, went to Maryland, and then did my entire career in D.C. Yeah, got to cook for some amazing people, presidents and the Queen of Sweden. Opened several restaurants for people, and then I opened two of my own and a catering company, and then the pandemic hit. And that was it. We came from where I was gonna be a week vacation, turned into 2 weeks, turned into 3 weeks, and then turned into a year. Because I met the owner of Innisfree Hotels, did a tasting, not knowing it was actually a job interview, and came in and I said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, right now, my family owns a rotisserie chicken place in Pensacola, and I was just coming to help them out because I was doing nothing at home." And my brother-in-law opened Airstream. I said, I just go and work it, a food truck. In the meantime, while everything gets over there fixed in D.C., I opened smoothie and acai bowl place for my wife. And 3 days before we opened, the storm came in 2020 and wiped it all out.
Oh my gosh.
I sat down. I'm telling you. I mean, that nobody knows this, by the way. And I sat down in my car with a 12-year-old, my wife, and I'm looking. I was like, man, who did I make mad, or who did I do wrong to? Which I don't know. And for me, for all these things to happen, I said, look, if it's happening in 2020, let it all come together, and then let's just go. And it was a moment of come to Jesus, I guess, moment for me, and I said, well, I have two choices. I have a 12-year-old, I have my wife. I either just start just crying and complaining about it, or I just lace up my shoes and let's start facing the dance again and let's get up. And luckily, within that week, I met the owner of Innisfree Hotels. And I was like, hey, I heard about who you cook for, what you've done. Could you come and do a tasting for us? I'm sure. And I went to the Hilton, did a tasting, and what I thought it was going to be just a tasting was basically a job interview. And from there, I just decided to stay. Yeah.
I love that you were ready.
Yeah.
You were ready to walk through a door because it's like that as an entrepreneur. Stuff happens and you have to be able to pivot and all of that. But a lot of it is risk that we take, not knowing that if we step out there, sometimes an opportunity will present itself to us, and that's just what it's about. It's impossible to have everything planned all out.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. It's I always tell people fear is a 4-letter word. And it's okay to have it because it makes you aware and how to take your next step. But you can't live on fear because then I think the worst that can happen is in your head the what if. What if I would have done that? What if I
Yeah.
would have taken the chance and do it? Now I can't because I'm too old, or now I can't because I'm, I don't know, crippled or something. You never know. And it's just a what if. I never want to have that in my mind. And yes, well, guess what? You know, we fail. I know it sounds easy to say. I know it's not, but it's all in your mind. Just be positive. I always wanted to be. I did a couple of segments on TV in DC, and I said, man, I really want to do it. Once I came over here, and we did what, about 4 or 5 before I
Couple.
came over, something like that. I said, man, I really like the vibe in here. I really like, you know, the Chelsea and Joe, and everybody was super nice and cool. So I was like, the opportunity came, and I think did I call you, Chelsea? I think, or email you. I
think
said,
you
hey,
did.
let me send you my resume and see what you think. And they called me back. I was like, Manny, you never said anything about this. I was like, well, you know, and they helped me out. We started, and then Don Q came and said, look, we support you 100%. Let's go ahead and do it and make it happen. And it's been a year already.
It's, I mean, we can't sing Manny's praises enough. Like, what he does is so fun, and we have so much fun too, and I think the audience really loves that. Would you say moving to Pensacola, like, all of this was a promotion from what you were experiencing in DC? Not necessarily.
You know, at the beginning, I thought, you know, why did I do this?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm shutting down my career. I didn't know, but now it was a blessing. It was a blessing after, you know, you start complaining and you start thinking, and thinking every day, hey, what's my next step? I think I came here for a reason.
Yeah.
I think it was now. Yes, I think it was more of a promotion than anything else.
Let's talk about the entrepreneurial side of this, because what he does is amazing. So you've got your own business, MR
Yeah.
Catering and Consulting, where you cater throughout the Pensacola area, come to Mobile, Baldwin counties, hit everybody with that. But then you're also with Innisfree Hotels. There are a lot of restaurants under that umbrella. So just for people at home who are unfamiliar, who do you manage? What do you manage?
So, I'm in charge of everything that has to do with food and beverage for the company.
How many? I mean, this is
So
a
30,
massive company.
30 hotels from South Carolina all the way to Texas. Most 28 of them are from Beach View, except for New Orleans, where, you know, a mile away from all the chaos and the fun. And then I got 4 independent restaurants within Innisfree on Pensacola Beach. So 34, we have about 1,300 employees. So it's a lot of emails and calls and text messages. And I think, well, it's not like I did it to myself when it comes to that, because I love making sure that all the employees, I don't call them employees, I call them teammates, have my resource. If you need me, you call me. You know, if there's something you're going through, don't wait, you know, oh, your manager. If you don't have that connection with him, pick up the phone. So I got kind of like that open door policy with all of them, which I love, but sometimes it comes, you know, with a lot of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing, you know. So we do that. I design their menus, their beverages. I design their kitchens with the architects. We're working right now on 4 different kitchens right now that we're designing. Working on a new concept in Pensacola Beach, a new hotel, a new Remo. So there's a lot going on. And then I do the catering, which is mostly my fun, where I get to cook, when I get to do things like that. And most of the do is like private dinners or weddings. And then I help consult for my sister, my mom, and dad on the restaurant. They own a rotisserie chicken place, which is amazing, by the way. And they're hardworking people. So yeah.
So my question is, we may have some people who are watching who have the dream, right? They want to be big time like you are. How do you get from doing private catering and starting off? Like, what does it take to really build up your brand to where you can do the type of operations that you do?
So I started early. I was 17, 18. And I first went to business school just to learn, you know, the financial part of it, because you can create this amazing dish, but if you can't if you don't know how to cost it and what you should sell it for, then you already started backwards.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even, you don't have to go for the whole, 4 years career, but at least take, I don't know, a couple of years of business school and learn something and learn the why I should charge this. And nowadays with pricing of cost of living going so high, you know how to price yourself really fast or you're going to be out of business even faster. So then the first 5 years, 5 to 10 years, you have to be a sponge. You have to absorb as much knowledge as you can and be picky who you work for. Like I was very picky. I was like, I'd rather work here for $3 less an hour that I know I'm going to learn loads of it than making, I don't know, twice as much sometimes other jobs and have nothing, just financial. And money's going to come with experience. You just have to wait. I mean, a lot of people are just, I have to get it now. But then if you do that starting, you're going to hit a cap, that you're not, you didn't prepare yourself. You didn't, you don't know the trends anymore. So you have to at all times keep studying, go to, conferences. And if the money's not there, like it was for me, like I didn't have the money to go to all these conferences, I went and worked for people that I knew they were going to help me excel in my career. And that's what I did for the first 10 years of my career. Yeah.
So when you say be picky who you work for, what do you mean by that?
So if you want to be a caterer, try to find who's the best catering around here and say, look, I'm willing to start as your prep cook. I'll wash your dishes, I'll prep, I'll do whatever it is, and then start climbing the ladder. Talk to the chef. It's not the same cooking at home for 10 people than cooking for an event of 1,000. So you have to learn everything that goes behind making those events successful. The first, to me, I've done a lot of them. And to me, every time I do an event like that, I still get that, not anxiety, but that those emotions coming and that adrenaline rush. It's like, man, I did it again. I'm about to do it. It's amazing. But that came with me preparing prior to it, right? Working with chefs like Jose Andres, working with people like knew what they were doing and were willing to teach you that. And that's what we do now at the restaurants. With my restaurants, I was like, I'd rather get somebody that doesn't know anything that I can mold. I can be like, hey, let me walk you through. This is what you do. These are the type of cuts that we're going to do it. And push them to their limits to see, to make sure that you have to get out of your comfort zone in order for you to start, for your brain, I guess, to start acting. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically what.
It sounds like being coachable is like probably number one, and teachable too,
Yeah.
which that's for any career or any kind of field or creativity or whatever that is. So that's encouraging to just remember that. What has it been like for you now that you're on this other side of your career where you're not the sponge? Now you are teaching the sponges. What has that been like, that transition for you?
Now I'm the one with the great hair.
Right? I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I don't see any great
Yeah.
I don't see it.
No, it's funny because it happens so fast. I mean, now I got students coming at me and say, chef, and all that. I was like, man, I was that kid 15, 20 years ago. And it's great. I'm to me, it's rewarding. I had the pleasure to work under a master chef who was actually the one who took me under his wing. And I said, look, man, I don't have any money to pay you, for all you're doing. I was like, no. The only way you're going to pay me and my mentors were you need to pass it down. You need to pass it to somebody else. And I've never been scared of losing my job. Like, for somebody who's, I think it's going to be better. And if I train that person, by all means, here's a batoon, here's a jacket. It's going to be heavy, but go ahead and get it done. I mean, don't be scared. And to me, it's just seeing some of the cooks now or the chef that I train throughout, that they're making it. I mean, it's priceless. Yeah, for sure.
What would you say the hardest part about transitioning after COVID was, and what did you learn from that COVID experience?
That was a bittersweet times for me because with my catering company, I had to walk away from DC basically after everything that happened, and I had sealed this contract for like the next 3 years, and basically I was gonna be able just to retire, and all these things that I had going on, and then coming to terms that look, we're gonna start over again, Paul.
Yeah.
And so, to me, it was more realizing that nothing is I mean, that not everything is forever, and realizing that in the worst times, you can adapt and you can overcome. And I didn't know that. I got to a point where I was probably getting a high over myself, I guess. I was like, man, I'm done in my 30s. I'm going to enjoy life. I'm going to buy a place in Europe, and I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to go to the Caribbean. And by the time I'm 40, I'm done. And it was just like, reset, let's go. And I think I was able to do all these things because of my wife and my daughter. If I was probably by myself, I don't know. Maybe I would have jumped off a bridge or something. I don't know. But it was the strength of having somebody that even when you are your lowest, they pick you up and be like, look, man, we have a kid. You have to either swallow the pride or do whatever it is, and you have to start moving forward because we can't just be in this funky stage.
Right.
So yeah.
For so many small business owners, big business owners, humans, and people who have lost loved ones, I feel like there's like just this break before COVID and after COVID.
Yeah.
Like for so many people, it was just a new life after that. And for you guys, I mean, you did it, and thank God that there was a blessing on the other side of that for y'all. Now that you are post-COVID
Right.
and you're on the other side, what's it been like for you as a family, your mom, dad, and your sister and brother-in-law being immigrants and now having a successful family business with the Rotisserie Chicken Restaurant?
So it's funny because my dad is a doctor. He's a surgeon back home. My mom is a pharmacist. My dad has never even boiled water. My mom is a chef at heart, for sure. And I learned a lot of my cooking from my mom and my grandmothers, especially from my mom. I mean, she's always cooked meals from scratch. And coming over and adapting, it's been amazing. Matter of fact, my mom became a citizen last week. My dad is next week.
Yay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so we're so happy for that.
Yay.
Congrats.
And and we're here. We're just it's all about adapting. It's all about when we came over, it's you have to learn the culture and you have to adapt. Okay, you're not in your backyard anymore, and you have to respect in order to gain respect. And a lot of people nowadays, it's hard for them to it's like, well, I'm here. I was like, no, we're visitors. Yes, but we have to adapt to the laws in here. We're very free spirited in our countries, but we gotta come here and we gotta adapt. And I think that's why it took them. So yeah, I mean, we love it. We're not planning on going anywhere.
We like to talk about gray areas, obviously, on this podcast. What would you say would be a gray area that you could share with somebody, maybe an entrepreneur who's hopeful and wishful, that they may not know about what it takes, the weight of what it takes to go from small business owner to a large business owner, like maybe in terms of the responsibilities that you
Right.
have towards other families, or just something that you just don't know until you're in that space?
So it's hard, to take the courage and be like, I'm gonna start my own business. I'm gonna do this.
It is.
Because a lot of the mistakes is that when they start seeing money coming in, so I get it good, and then I go and buy myself a brand new car, and then I'm gonna go and buy a bigger home and start. It's like, guys, just pump the brakes. Once your business, the first 3 to 5 years, you have to learn your business. Not because you've been doing this and now you're solo, you're transitioning, as a business owner, that doesn't mean you made it. You also have to learn when to walk away, when to say no. I walked away from events where, hey man, I'm gonna profit this much money. But when you have to read your staff and you have to read your clientele and be like, I'd rather not do this because this could jeopardize my business in the long run. So you get kind of know that great area where say, well, maybe this is not for me, and I'd rather work from the profit of this and have a more successful business in the short, long run than, because nowadays, I mean, anyone in social media can destroy or make your business within a post. So they have to, I think they have to learn how to find that perfect balance, I guess, as happy medium, I guess.
Do you have an example of, for you, what that line is that you will just walk away and say, I can't do that?
I've done a lot in catering. When I like to sit down with my clients, right? And I need to get to know them before I can say, yes, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I don't do this for the money, even though I should, but I don't do it for the money because then you lost your passion.
Yeah.
And like I said, money comes when you're good at it. And there are times where you could see how they treat their staff, and I don't want to be part of that. Because if the moment they treat my staff like that or speak to my staff like that, then I don't care if in the middle of a wedding or anything. I'll just wrap everything up and I'll leave. Respect. Self-respect I think is the main thing that you can't let anyone, I guess, tarnish.
And I think that speaks to how you've grown your brand, because if your employees feel honored and respected, it's going to make them want to work for you.
I can tell you right now that I can have an event and not show up, and I know my event is going to go well.
Yeah.
I have the same staff since I started the company here in Pensacola the last 5 years. And I have the same staff. And I can send them to different. We've done 2-3 events at the same time, and I know.
Yeah.
With respect comes loyalty.
Yeah.
And so what a gift, what a gift to say no to those couple events and no to that maybe a couple $1,000s, but to have those same people you can count on. That's
Absolutely.
such a gift.
Yeah.
So for people watching, and they watch on Fridays and they're hungry, if they want to use you for catering, or if they want to try out your family's restaurant in Pensacola, how can we do it?
So it's called Mr. Pollo, Mr. Chicken. It's rotisserie chicken. It's really good, by the way. And then MR Catering and Consulting. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all my social media. We always post it, and I'm always available. I mean, even if I'm not, I'll let you guys know, but I'll give you dates. And then if not, come to the restaurants in Pensacola Beach. I mean, with Innisfree, I love to promote them because they're always being very loyal to me, and they're being great to me, and we have really good food, by the way. One of the things that nobody knows is that at Redfish, we remodeled that restaurant in 21, right after the pandemic. And we took all the freezers from the restaurant. So the motto is, my restaurant is that we're in the Gulf. You're getting seafood, fresh seafood, 6 days of the week. I am getting delivered. And I tell people, come and walk the restaurants. I'm not lying to you. I have no freezers.
No freezers.
No
like,
freezers.
Guaranteed
fresh seafood. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we got such a nice backyard, right? I mean, all the Gulf and everything. Why would we be buying frozen stuff? It's just, it's not, doesn't do us justice.
Can confirm that everything he makes is delicious. So you do want to try it if you can.
For sure. I have so enjoyed this conversation with you. On a closing note, is there anything that any advice that you would offer to any young, up-and-coming culinary artists that you haven't already mentioned? Just one final piece of advice.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, don't be scared. Just go out, make it happen, fall, stand up, and do it again. I mean, we're young, and we only get to live once, so make most out of it.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
Love
Chef Manny, thank you so much, friend.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate
make sure
it.
you watch Friday Studio 10. He'll be back, so can't wait
Yes.
for that meal.
Woo woo.
Thank you.
This episode of Entrepreneurial Shades of Grey is brought to you by Honest Air Plumbing and Electric.